Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I actually was not going to film a video over here today. I thought I'll just start tomorrow on October 1st and do a fresh start in October. And I did a video over here yesterday, so I was like, I'll, let people catch up and give them time to catch up on the videos that I filmed. But then I was sitting there in front of the computer as I was uploading some other videos that I filmed, and I remembered that today's date in The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beatty is dog-eared. Now, if you guys have been watching this channel for a while, what you'll know is I look for the date and I'll be like, oh, and every time I look for the date, this always comes up dog-eared. And so it's the September 30th meditation, which is titled Not a Victim. I have no idea why this is dog-eared, and I've talked about it for a while now. I'm like, we'll have to wait until September 30th to find out what this meditation's about, because I don't remember why I have it dog-eared or why it's important to me. I mean, I've had this book forever. I may have dog-eared it 6 years ago, 10 years ago. Actually, you know what? I think I had one that fell apart. And then I think either somebody sent me a new one or I got a new one. So this one's probably only like 4 or 5 years old. But my mom had 2 of these. So this might be my mom's as well. I don't know. She usually wrote her name in hers, and this doesn't have her name in it. So this might be my mom's, and it might be my mom that dog-eared it, not a victim. I don't know. But I was like, okay, I cannot miss today's date because I have been waiting for this meditation forever. So every time that I've been like, I would scan through the book and I'd be like, oh, September 30th, it's dog-eared. I wonder what that is. We'll have to wait till September 30th. So I was like, I've got to do the meditation for today. So we have been waiting. We have desperately been waiting now for a very, very long time to find out what September 30th. I'm gonna undog-ear it, okay? So that going forward, I mean, I'm still gonna be able to see it, but anyway, I'm gonna undog-ear it so that next year I'm not like, well, I don't know why I dog-eared that night. It's a whole year that we spent. We've been waiting for a year for this. We've been waiting for a year. Okay. So let's read this meditation. It better be good. If I get through it, sometimes when I read these meditations, if you guys, if you're positive affirmations, meditations, whatever you call them, I have so many of these books. And so when I do my prayers and my meditations in the morning, these I always save for this channel. I save the Melody Beatty books for this channel. But I have I probably have, I don't know, literally 20 or 30. I have my mom's and then I have mine. I buy new ones all the time. So I probably have, I probably honestly more than 30 of them. If you guys would ever be interested in me showing you like every positive affirmation meditation book that I have, let me know in the comment section below and I will do a video over here showing all the meditation books that I have. I kind of go back and forth between calling them meditation books and daily affirmations, positive affirmations, but I've got spiritual ones, I've got recovery ones, I have one specific for men, one specific for women, one's about grief, one's about loss, positive ones. Anyway, I've got all kinds of ones, but I've got all kinds of books. So if you want me to do that video, that would be kind of an interesting video to do. And I could show you guys all the different meditation books I have, but I kind of rotate them out. And so every day I probably read anywhere, depending on like what I have going on that day, between like 3 and 5, 3 and 6, some of them. But sometimes I'll read the affirmation or the meditation. I'll be like, this was a mess. Like, this was just completely a mess. Like, I don't really know. Like, I'll read it and be like, huh, next. You know what I mean? Like, if you read a lot of these, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's not like every single one that I read, it's like gives me some, like over here, one of the reasons why I picked Melody Beatty's books is because most of her affirmations and her meditations really kind of like hit some area of my life. But a lot of the meditation books that I read, some of them honestly are like 3 lines. And so like the Book of Positive Quotations by Linda Picone that I used to read over here, sometimes when you read them, it'll be like 3 lines. It'll be like, just for today, laugh. Laughter is important. Make sure that you find laughter in your life today. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to read that for, a video. But sometimes when I read them, I'm like, I'm not really sure like how this applies to my life today. And I kind of go on to the next one. So not every meditation that I read in my daily life just really, hits hard in my life, and gives me some kind of profound lesson. But obviously this one did, since I have it dog-eared. So, and I have no idea why I dog-eared it. It's like, I write down notes on Post-it notes and then I put them down in front of me. And then the next day I wake up and I'm like, why do I have that note? It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. Do you guys do the same thing? Not a victim, September 30th. You are not a victim. How deeply ingrained our self-image as a victim can be. How habitual are feelings of misery and helplessness. Victimization can be like a gray cloak that surrounds us, both attracting that which will victimize us and causing us to generate the feelings of victimization. Victimization can be so habitual that we may feel victimized even by the good things that happen to us. Got a new car? Yes, we sigh, but it doesn't run as well as I expected, and after all, it costs so much. You've got such a nice family. Yes, we sigh, but there are problems, and we've had such hard times. Well, your career is certainly going well. Ah, we sigh, but there is such a price to pay for success, all that extra paperwork. I have learned that if we set our mind to it, we have an incredible, almost awesome ability to find misery in any situation, even the most wonderful of circumstances. Shoulders bent, head down, we shuffle through life, taking our blows. Be done with it. Take off the gray cloak of despair, negativity, and victimization. Hurl it. Let it blow away in the wind. We are not victims. We may have been victimized. We may have allowed ourselves to be victimized. We may have sought out, created, or recreated situations that victimized us, but we are not victims. We can stand in our power. We do not have to allow ourselves to be victimized. We do not have to let others victimize us. We do not have to seek out misery in either the most miserable or the best situations. We are free to stand in the glow of self-responsibility, set a boundary, deal with the anger, tell someone no, or stop that. Walk away from a relationship. Ask for what you need. Make choices and take responsibility for them. Explore options. Give yourself what you need. Stand up straight, head up, and claim your power. Claim responsibility for yourself and learn to enjoy what's good. Today, I will refuse to think, talk, speak, or act like a victim. Instead, I will joyfully claim responsibility for myself and focus on what's good and right in my life. Now, I'm going to say something that's really not popular, okay? And it will probably piss one or two people off over here. I make these videos on this channel to share my experiences, to help other people that maybe are in a place that I've been in my life at some point, to read meditations that remind me of things I need to know or teach me new lessons and share with you my perspective on it. She starts the meditation off by saying, you are not a victim. Whenever on this channel, I talk about when we make ourselves victims or when we victimize ourselves or we play the role of the victim, whenever I say that, I always get one or two comments, typically on any channel that I talk about it, from somebody that will say, you don't know what I went through, or you have no idea what tragedy I've had in my life, or my life has been so hard. That is the cry of a victim, okay? That is a cry of somebody that wants to stay in a victim status. What she's saying is, okay, she is saying and she is acknowledging in her meditation, you may be somebody that has been victimized. You may have gone through horrible things in your life. You may have suffered at the hands that you never deserved. It never was right. It never should have happened to you as a child or as an adult, in relationships and family and work situations and school, wherever. It should never have happened to you. You are absolutely 100% right. You went through tragedy. You went through horrible times. You went through situations that nobody would wish on their enemy. But you can choose today to not continue to look at the world through the eyes of a victim. And I think that for many years I did this, where the statements that she gives, where it's like, oh, you have a great family. Yes, but we've been through. I would constantly say that about everything. I could never see the good in anything. And what I realized was that I had been through such hard times that it was always kind of like a point of focus for me, that it was always a place of like equalizing for me, that it was almost kind of like I hadn't worked through the stuff. And so in my head, having been a victim in my life of many things that had happened to me in childhood and even as an adult, as somebody that had been a victim and been victimized by things that had happened to me, circumstances of life and all kinds of things, without getting into specifics, when you go through that, or when I went through that, until I had started doing intensive therapy and work on it, I think there was a lot of questions like, well, what did I do to deserve this? Or what made me different than anybody else that I got it, or that I was treated that way? And I was, for years, trying to figure out what makes me different. Like, why was I the one that was victimized? Why was I the one that was treated horribly? What was it about me? And so it always went back to this thing about me. Then I started seeing the world through very negative lens, because I was like, I couldn't see anything good, because if there was something wrong with me, then I didn't deserve anything good. So whether that was somebody saying something positive about my job, my family, my relationship, anything about me, I couldn't see the positive in it, because I didn't deep down internally believe that I deserved anything good. Because everything bad that had happened to me, I felt like there had to have been something that I did. It's a very childish, immature attitude to have, but I felt like there was something that I had to have done to have deserved it. It was a lot of work that I had to do to work through that, where what I realized was that some of the things that happened to me in my life, there was no rhyme or reason to. There was no reason why I was picked. It just was that I was there, and that it was circumstances, and that was just how life happened. And that there was no sense to it. It was literally senseless. Whether it happened when I was 2 years old, or whether it happened 6 years ago, it was senseless. And there was that I was trying to make sense of something that had no sense to it. And so it wasn't that I wasn't a good person, or that somebody saw something in me that I didn't see in myself that they picked out, or whatever, right? I'm not saying that that doesn't happen in times in life, right? I'm just saying that overall, that was not the case. And so then I had to start believing that maybe at the end of the day, I am a good person, and I do my best. And I try to be a good person, let's say, at least, on a daily basis. I try to do the best that I can, like I think most of us do. And then I started seeing life through the lens of, there is a lot of positive out there. There are a lot of good things out there. And that was when I stopped. I for years talked about how I saw the glass as half empty instead of half full. It was always, I was very pessimistic. I was very, very negative. And I was affecting a lot of people around me, but most of all, I was affecting myself. Because I really, really wasn't enjoying life at all. At all. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I've suffered enough. So when she's saying you are not a victim, she is not taking away, and neither am I, the things that you went through in your life. But at some point, I had to decide whether I wanted to stay stuck in that state of foreverness of, I am a victim. I cannot move on. I don't know how to move on. I'm not going to move on. I'm going to forever say, if you knew what I went through, then you would see life as negatively as I did. And I just don't want to stay in that state. I don't want to stay there for the rest of my life. I want to enjoy life. I only have one life. I don't want to forever stay stuck in looking at what happened to me was so horrible that I only see life through that lens, And I think one of the things that really helped me is meeting people that had gone through things that were so much worse than what I had gone through. And then I was like, and they have a smile on their face, and they're grateful for what they have, and they have a lot less than I do, and they're grateful for even that. Then I need to stop complaining, and I need to get out of this victim role and be grateful for every moment that I have. There's always going to be people that have more than us, and there's always going to be people that have less than us. And I think that the human equalizer of all of our lives is that one day we're not going to be here anymore. How do you want to spend those days? I don't forever want to spend those days, because ultimately, playing this role of looking at the world negatively through the eyes of being a victim and always defining myself that way, then I'm missing out on those days. Then the person that hurt me to begin with, that person or that situation has won and taken over my entire life. And I'm just not in a position today where I'm willing to give them that much power. I'm just not. That doesn't mean that what happened to me in my childhood or growing up or in my adulthood didn't have a profound effect on me or how I look at the world. It doesn't mean I forget it. It doesn't mean that I just pay it no mind. It means that I acknowledge it, that I'm aware of it, that I work through it, that I, to some degree, even honor what happened to me, and I look at it. But then I also don't define myself forever by that. I don't want to be stuck, and I don't want anybody else to be stuck either. Anyway, that was a great meditation. I don't remember why I dog-eared it, but I needed to hear it today. So it was a good reminder. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.